like to call a regular meeting of the Downtown Development Authority Board. It is Tuesday, September 16th, 2025. It is 6:30 p.m. Could we have a roll call and determination of quorum, please?
Chairperson Burgess,
Here.
Vice Chairperson Dr. Crusoe,
Here.
Secretary Laurent,
Here.
Treasurer Shell,
Here.
Board Member Coe,
Here.
Board Member Medina. Here. President Rutt. Here. You have a quorum.
Thank you. Moving on to item number 3, approval of minutes. A, approval of DDA regular meeting minutes of August 19th, 2025.
Motion to approve DDA Board regular meeting minutes of August 19th, 2025.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to item number B, approval of DDA special meeting minutes of September the 5th, 2025.
Motion to approve special meeting minutes of September 5th, 2025.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We're moving on to item number 4, approval of agenda, but I'd like to add 8D, executive leadership annual review.
Motion to approve agenda.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Moving on to item number 5, call to the public. The DDA welcomes comments related to the work and spirit of the DDA on non-agenda items. Each person wishing to address the DDA board shall be afforded an opportunity to do so. When recognized, please give your name and address and direct your comments to the chair. Comments on the agenda items may be allowed upon the calling of the item. Comments are limited to 3 minutes or is allowed by the board chair. Thank you. Moving on to item number 6, consent agenda. All items on the consent agenda are approved by one vote. A, financial reports, page 12.
Motion to approve consent agenda.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Moving on to item number 7, financial matters. A, bill approval, page 24. Roll call, please.
Motion to approve disbursements in the amount of $170,535.45 for August 2025.
Support.
Roll call, please.
Board Member Coe,
Yes.
Secretary Laurent,
Yes.
Vice Chairperson Crusoe,
Yes.
Chairperson Burgess,
Yes.
President Rutt.
Yes.
Board Member Medina. Yes. Treasurer Shell.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Moving on to new and old business. Item A, social district applications. Please note that we have a third additional application.
Madam Chair, before you tonight is social district applications for 3 new businesses that are taking over existing establishments. As you all are aware, in response to the COVID epidemic, the social district legislation was enacted. Lake Orion was the first to take advantage of it, and we've had a robust district. 3 businesses. Sick Town Hall is already open and operating with great success. If you haven't been there, Scott's done a great job. The sign that he's building is going to be spectacular, quite an asset. He has a bee problem right now in the tower behind his building, so if you're there, be a little bit careful. But they've submitted an application. They're very compliant, not only location, but his business reputation in other communities is great. Nicola's LLC is the new group that's going into Anita's downtown. They're likewise a somewhat pseudo-Mediterranean. You'll see Rise Lounge on the outside. It took a while. Janet probably figured this out. I'm more dense. I was like, why do they keep calling it Rise Lounge? What is this? It's because they're going to primarily serve breakfast and brunch food. And so the whole idea of is rising sun and rise and come to have it, which is great. Marta came to the council meeting last week as the owner. We had talked to her several times. She's been looking to move to Lake Orion for some time, and here she is. They've got a great record in Southfield. I did contact Southfield. Some people I know in Southfield to say, is this a good business? Do they have any problems? And they say 0. They've had 0 complaints. The last one is added on with the packet that was sit before you today. CGKW LLC. This is the group that is Clover and Creek that is purchasing oat soda. There's not a tremendous amount of background we have. I did speak at length with the attorney that sent the application to us. It is going to be a full menu and a full-service restaurant. They wanted to keep some of the more upscale, eclectic things that Oat Soda does, but have a more robust menu, as the attorney put it. I'm like, well, I think Oat Soda has a pretty good menu, but a little bit bigger wouldn't hurt, since sometimes they only have a few items. All three of these have been looked at. The procedure really is this just goes to council for either a supporting or concerning resolution from council. Our tradition at the DDA is for the DDA to vet this as part of the district, do a little background on these businesses and those that are applying. We've done that. All three are recommended to pass to council, and the motion's before you.
Motion to recommend approval of the applicants from Sick Town Hall, Nicholas LLC, and CGKW LLC for inclusion in the Lake Orion Social District, directing the executive director to facilitate presentment of a fully prepared resolution of approval permit for village council's consideration at its next meeting.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed?
I'd like to keep 2 of those around, please.
Motion carries. Moving on to item number B, Social District Refresh, page 43.
Madam Chair, this follows what we've just done, which is we've been talking a lot, Janet particularly, about the need to have greater branding of our social district. The chief of police, who's doing such a great job in partnership with us, has likewise talked to us about we need to improve and refresh signage for the social district so people know where it is. In doing a little bit of research in preparation for this particular item, I discovered that the map that's on file with the state of Michigan is different and, quite frankly, larger than the map that we have been using to identify our social district. So there is some question marks about, as an example, the ice cream enjoying area of cookies and cream down by the park is in the map at the state level. And Elena Campbell has long thought that her property was not in the social district. So we have those question marks. And so what's before you tonight is, a series of questions that really address a refresh of the social district, of what we should do. What's being presented to you and recommended is that this board form a special committee. It's recommended by Janet and I that the committee would look to rebrand the Lake Orion Social District. What we mean by that is to finding more of a branded marketing name for the district and not just calling it the Lake Orion Social District. Other communities, as Janet would attest, they have really creative names that allows our business community to say, come visit the whatever, we call it the creek or whatever we're going to call it. But most significantly, that this committee would be populated with at least 3 business owners, 3 members at large, and 3 DDA board or committee members. We'd like to have a 9-person committee. It seems large, but this is a very important topic for us as we go into the next generation. We just saw 3 new businesses all want to take advantage of the social district. We're aware that there's 2 other businesses that are very close to entering purchase agreements to join the downtown. That would be restaurant-related businesses that have both inquired about redevelopment liquor license, which we do have more of those. So this is a important topic, and it's before you tonight for you to discuss or to refer, but most importantly to consider forming a committee so that we can move the work forward.
I assume this is a question for the committee, and it's premature, but is there opportunity to extend it into parts of the lumberyard project?
Through the chair, yes, that would be part of the discussion as well. With the lumberyard coming on board, it will be our recommendation when we get there, and part of the next agenda item as far as the nonprofit status, that we would seek what they call a transitory business license, which would serve as a public market license. And so we would presumably extend the social district so people could enjoy a glass of wine or a craft beer or something there. It's not our intention to have the lumberyard be a place for bars and those types of things, but it is our intention to have a craft beer at the end of a 20-mile run, that kind of thing. So it would be appropriate. Also, Janet's been working very hard on the little pocket area where the adult date night movie was on Friday, which was great success. I'm sure she'll talk about that in her report. We'd like to maybe consider looking at if that's going to be used for the next handful of years until it gets developed, that we would expand that. So yeah, long-winded answer, but yes, Mr. Shaw, we'd look at what the boundaries really should be. If we did that process, it would be an amended application to the state. We'd go through that process.
Okay, thank you. Motion to form a special committee of the board to review and rebrand the Lake Orion Social District to be populated with at least 3 business owners, 3 members at large, and 3 DDA board or committee members. The committee shall report progress and recommendations no later than December 16th, 2025.
Support.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Moving on.
I'll volunteer to be on the board.
Thank you.
Yeah, if there's board members that would like to, you all do a lot. We'll be hitting the committee members as well, a way of engaging our committee members even a little bit better. I know that the chief today expressed to Janet and I, and Darwin and Sonia were there as well, that he would really, really like to be part of this, which would be great. Him and Brian, the new officer, would both be great. So if you have an interest, just send us a note along and we'll get this populated and going.
Thank you. Moving on to item number C, Lumberyard at Paint Creek Public Market, nonprofit, page 67.
All right, so Madam Chair, we could take a whole afternoon and evening to go through this, but we're not going to do that because Matt was training for a marathon and Teresa ran a race this morning and they're tired. So we're going to do a summary of where we're going with this and get some direction on it. So for the purpose of the public and what we're doing here, this would be the operational nonprofit that we've talked about repeatedly. We need an organization that would be more agile and quicker to do sponsoring, to run public markets. This is a very traditional model of how these types of markets are run, whether they're part of a DDA or a city or anything else. And so this is the beginning. What I've drafted and put in the packet is the cheat that we get on not spending $10,000 or $15,000 of legal fees with an outside group. And so I went ahead and prepared these. As Mr. Shell knows, he and I have both done nonprofit, although him way more than me, do this type of work. So what's before you tonight is the outline of what this would start to look like. And I know that some of you have already looked at your packet a little bit. I would encourage you to look at your packet even more as a sideline. If the Lions are winning 50-10 again, then think of the Lumberyard at Paint Creek and say, man, I wonder what they want to do there. I'm watching this boring football game. So what's before you tonight is a discussion and a decision that we need to have. So the way that this is crafted so far, I put in the packet that there's different variations of how the structure could be. And this is really 4 different levels. In the packet, there's a chart. We don't need to go through it in detail, but I'll just describe it for you. So if we form this organization, we would file articles of organization or formation with the state. We need to designate at the state whether it's a director-based organization or a membership-based organization. Now, what's the distinction? A director-based organization is what we have by ordinance. And so we've got a board that gives advice and makes decisions, and then the director leads the day-to-day. The director is in charge of the organization. What's a membership-based organization? Well, there's different levels of it. There's a membership organization that the members have no voting rights, but they become advisors to the direction of the entity. There's another level where you would incorporate that certain members would have board postured rights, that they had certain authority over the organization by being entitled to have a board seat, and you would set the criteria, like what would that mean? And then the last version is you have a full membership organization where if you have 500 members, then you have an annual meeting and 500 people vote on something. So if you wanted to buy a tractor to grade the parking lots at the Lumberyard at Paint Creek, it would go to the membership. That's the one on this far side. The next one in would be a membership base where you could sell membership, meaning you would have opportunity for individuals to say, I'd like to be a member of the Music Society at the Paint Creek, Lumberyard at Paint Creek, and I'm a member of the organization. They get certain rights. Maybe they get a discount on tickets. Maybe they get preemptive newsletter notice. We build some type of package, but you also offer to corporations like General Motors and others, would you like to be a member with board privileges? But that costs you a lot of money. And so that structure allows you to do those types of things where you've got very limited rights that are identified are university, corporate, or larger donor levels of membership that they would have an opportunity to serve on the board. You've got membership level, that's the first basis, which is we don't get to vote on anything, but I would love to spend $50 a year and just be known as a member of an organization. And we would have an annual meeting where people could say, yeah, we did this really well this year, but we're going to probably do those things anyway. And then the one on the far left would be the directorship model. So what I need tonight is really to get your thoughts and your direction, and hopefully a motion that would say at least the distinction between whether we would just keep it a straightforward director level, where it would be us and a director running the whole show, or we would build into some aspect of it, and then Mr. Shell doesn't know it's coming. He does kind of, the next step would be, we would identify this, take the work that I've started, work with him, and then likely some outside counsel work that we would bring back a very refined package that would be, we formed an organization, here's the articles that formed it, here's what the proposed structure would be. So the discussion tonight is, do we want it to be a directorship, or do we want it to be some form of the 3 levels of membership base, and then some advice and direction on that? So long-winded explanation, but this is a very, very important topic. This is the only thing that should take us any amount of time tonight. So Madam Chair, that's what's before you.
I think my initial reaction would be to form it as a directorship for now, so we can get things moving with a relatively small group, and either decide to have a membership structure underneath that decision-making directorship, or if we do decide to go to a full membership, later amend to go that route. But that's, I could be convinced otherwise.
Well, the only question I have, and you would know better than me, is whether can we change in the future?
We can.
All right, without having to do any subsidiary work or anything like that, it would
Right.
just be changed, okay.
It's
Yeah.
just an amendment to the article.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the idea of getting sponsorship and getting more money for the project is kind of cool. But then we kind of lose control of the 500 members. That would be nuts. Voting members, you might as well go ahead and just shoot yourself in the head because that's not going to work. You know, but the other one, and I think the far extremes are not good. But something in the middle, I like the opportunity of having people having ability to donate to or be part of a bigger system. But I like Matt's idea to make it go by quicker if we can just do the directorship thing and then change it later on. If that's
Amend it.
simple, yeah, amend it. That'd be a simple process. I think it just make it faster and easier for.
Yeah, as long as he feels that that's not a barrier at all.
No, I'll
That's
double
the-
check before we actually file, but.
Yeah, that'd be great. On the smaller membership, it's interesting, so there's a music venue in Connecticut that we modeled Wildwood after. So the music venue that's in the township, that originally they started this just as a community place for music, and then they had a membership organization, and then they sold little memberships, and with that, people got the very first little chairs that they could sit by the music, and it became a status symbol. Like every year, they renewed their membership because they got something that gave them some identity of status, and that's how this music venue built in Connecticut, and now it's like one of the biggest things on the East Coast. And it always kind of stuck in my head of, those are really neat, unique little things for your own identity. And then through that, they had the broader thing of, they had the big Eastern companies that came in and said, yeah, we'll give you $1 million, but, we get a board seat. So if it's something we could strive for, I think long-term, it'd be great. So.
With the directorship-based nonprofit, it doesn't exclude us from having a membership system.
Right.
So there still can be, you can become a member of this, just the running, the operations of the nonprofit are done by an executive director and a board of directors.
Correct.
Is that accurate?
Correct.
So we could still, it's almost like a hybrid then at that point. You could create a hybrid where it's operationally, but then you can still invite members into and create some type of benefit potentially. The thing I like about the directorship-based is that there's a clear sense of like, okay, there's a team focused on steering this and, for however long. I think the one thing we probably would need to be clear on is, a lot of times people think executive director, oh, that comes with a big salary. I'm assuming that that would not be the case for this, or maybe I'm wrong in that route, but
Yeah, legally, they can receive fair value compensation.
would it be our
I-
intent
I
to
think that as of
do
today,
that?
I would expect that it would not be compensated in the short term, and in the long term, I think.
It could be a
decision
goal,
made.
okay.
Yeah, I mean, through the chair, it's interesting, like, part of the mentality of this market is to look at what they did at Eastern Market. Municipally owned public market that really floundered until they layered in the idea that you could get these nonprofits that would give entities and participants a different venue or vehicle to participate. Because no offense to my brethren in government, people don't run to donate things to government, right? So at Eastern Market, Dan Carmody did it for a long time, and some of the directors, they're very high paid, but they have a $20+ million annual budget. So you would say, well, of course they make $300,000. Ours would be exactly what we'd be limited to. If we start with bare bones and grassroots, then whoever would run it would be bare bones and grassroots. It's just the nature of it. So
Yeah. With the opportunity to potentially grow.
the board would
and-
set that as
Yeah.
it went
Okay.
forward. Yeah, absolutely.
And I think in the long term, the board should not mirror our board, but in the short term, we can do whatever we want to get things up and running.
So there is some importance of autonomy, which is what you're saying.
Right.
Is that, and please from this board, don't think that, oh, I've got another board seat that I'm going to sit on. It could be possible, depending on how the organization forms itself. It's a stronger position, as Matt's saying, to have a more independent board. And maybe because the DDA is creating it, they decided that we'd like to form it in a way that we guide that there's always a member from the DDA board that's appointed, kind of like you're appointed at the Planning Commission. But that's a very important point, that this nonprofit, and don't think for a minute, again, for my brethren and some of the council people, this is not in any way designed to supplant the role of the DDA as an ordinance-created entity of the village that owns this property. It's a way to create a operable public market that becomes much stronger in its operation and its ability to make revenue that would run it. And so it's a smart way to go. But directorship would be great. I'm open to any or either. I'm ready to file. Like I want to file tomorrow kind of
Yeah.
thing. So.
My recommendation would be file as directorship. We can either put a subcategory of membership under that legal directorship or later convert to membership. Not that we're going to make decisions based on ChatGPT, but quickly that did say that you can amend to membership. So,
I love ChatGPT.
yeah.
One more question. It sounds like too, so, say however many years in the future, if the TIF amendment for the DDA is not renewed, this gives a legal structure for the lumberyard and the market and everything to continue without falling to the village then to have to somehow pick it up and run with it. Is that accurate? in
That's
saying that?
very accurate. And
Okay.
and I would just emphasize as we go forward that decisions will get made over the next couple of years, some sooner and some later, about how we, the property was purchased with taxable and non-taxable tax-exempt bonds, with the idea that we would turn part of this into more of a revenue-generating and tax-generating entity, anticipating at some point all of this will start to sunset. So I think we've all been very clear that our goal as a DDA is to acknowledge that the long-term health and benefit of the village is that the TIF and the DDA would start to look towards sunset. This would set up the structure for the market aspects and the operational aspects of the lumberyard. Now, it could mean that parts of that are transferred in ownership to the nonprofit, so that like the big main barn would stay a permanent real estate asset of the nonprofit. But those decisions will be very important to say, well, if we're doing a bakery and we're doing these other things, should we hold that based upon like a pro forma of timeline? You're exactly right.
Okay,
Commissioner.
so that would alleviate some of the potential concerns that people have had that the lumberyard could potentially become a financial burden to the village. By going this route, it would not be in the future.
Yeah.
It could run itself.
Yeah, and understand that we have a long way to go between today
Yes, for sure.
and paying off the bonds, and so we are all in this. Part of the reason, Madam Chair, is to get this going, is we have already starting to identify key vendors that would be the seasonal vendors in this market. And so you say, oh my gosh, well, why are you going so fast? Well, if we can start to lock these down, then it creates a stronger sense of how we work towards sponsor of the entire thing, how we work towards our brand marketing, building all of that out. If we say, this is okay, let's wait till the spring when we're getting it built, we've just wasted X amount of months that we are ready for this step. And so this is going to be one of those coinciding steps that people that are more Gantt chart, like, we're supposed to finish this first. How come you didn't finish this first? And we're like, no, we're moving this one over here. so that we can take advantage. If we form this, then I have the ability to work getting people under letter of intent, that they then have the ability to start doing their business planning, so that as we get ready for this a year from now, we're like launch, instead of saying, hey, we should form a nonprofit. So there is some real method to why we settled on a name. Really, the name is meaningless. We could have 18 DBAs for branding purposes, but if we settle on a name, Matt helps me get this filed and started. We bring back bylaws and structure. Then the very next thing would be by December, we would be signing LOI with specific vendors, and then the whole thing becomes very real.
Anybody else have any questions or comments? Good.
Motion to direct the filing of articles of incorporation for an entity to be named Lumberyard at Ink Creek Public Market, and cause the entity to be formed as a directorship-based Michigan nonprofit corporation.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Moving on to item number 8D, Executive Leadership Annual Review.
Madam Chair, this is the conclusion of the process that's been going for a couple months now, setting up and establishing the review of executive leadership. That's been done by the committee, and so I would tender the floor to yourself as the chair to advise on the direction. There is a memo that's been included as an added agenda item that was prepared at your direction, but I would cede the floor to the committee.
Sure. So both Matt and Janet submitted self-reviews. The executive committee met and reviewed those. We put together our own thoughts and met with each of them, and we've made recommendations on a go-forward strategy as far as goals go and how to implement those goals, and also to have more clear direction for both of them from us. We've also made recommendations with respect to comp for the coming year. Do you want me to talk about those as well?
Probably.
Okay. So to that end, with respect to Janet, we have agreed to set up a bonus structure based on obtaining sponsorships going forward. And also she, due to personal reasons, has a significant increase in insurance needs this year. So those two things are going to be her increase for the coming year. And for Matt, he does not take the insurance, and we agreed to a 3% increase in his comp. And due to his expertise that has saved us much more than this, with respect to the lumberyard specifically, we are recommending a $20,000 lumberyard progress bonus. This is a one-time bonus, and again, specifically related to the expertise that we would have had to hire experts for the lumberyard project. Should I make the motion or should I pass this?
No,
I'll make a motion.
yeah.
Make a recommend motion to move to approve and adopt resolution to approve adjustment to executive director compensation as presented, referring to the adopted resolution to the village council for adoption.
Support.
And could we have a roll call, please?
Treasurer Shell?
Yes.
Board Member Medina? Yes. Board Member Coe?
Yes.
Chairperson Burgess?
Yes.
Vice Chairperson Caruso?
Yes.
Secretary Laurent?
Yes.
President Rudd?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Moving on to item number 9, reports, resolutions, and recommendations. A, lumberyard progress report.
Madam Chair, the report, as on a monthly basis, is in the file tonight. It just sets forth again the last 30 days of the steps. So what's the highlights? We did meet on the 5th for those in the public that follow along. we met on the 5th to review a couple of contracts that allow us to move forward. So we are bringing in an architect. That work started. Thankfully, we didn't, you think, well, why didn't we just wait for tonight's meeting? Well, we just got a whole bunch of work done in a time frame that was more amenable to the scheduling of the architect, and now they'll be on site tomorrow for about 4 hours to begin the as-built process of those drawings. So we're taking advantage of that. So thanks to the board for that. We were able to go through and get 3-4 really independent quotes of all the material costs for that foundational repair, which is the last item that we are authorized to do on our zoning compliance permit. So we're going to be doing that. Mickey Bartos Group at Mickey's Construction was awarded the change order for a cost not to exceed $24,900. For those that couldn't be there, we all actually got out our calculators and our chat GPTs and our contacts and said, is this reasonable? And it turns out everybody was spot on, that we are getting a very, very fair, reasonable accommodation from Mike Bartos. I'll be honest with you, when this whole project's done, he deserves a plaque more than anybody. His team has been phenomenal. You've seen the doors have gone on that north side of the barn. Those are all made from about 90% of material that was left at the lumberyard. If you wanted the original little track systems, we couldn't save that. They were too far gone, but the doors are original. And you're seeing the finishing of the roof. What the architect's focusing on this week is you can see all the way through the big barn right now. Yeah, that's not supposed to be like that. So they're going to be doing the structural wall design and the load work for those structural walls. This is a complete continuing conversation with the building official. I emphasize that to you because we did receive yet another FOIA, very laborious paper chase of FOIAs. Which is fine. It's good. We'll comply with that and we'll respond to that. But all they really have to do is look at our website and look at these reports and know what we're doing. But we're in really good shape. So what's coming in the next 30 days that you should be aware of? I'd originally asked the owner of Menino's Bakery, which is an East Detroit bakery we've talked about a lot. We've now agreed to terms. He and I will be settling on terms of a letter of intent that we were going to try to bring to the board tonight, but we had some zoning questions. I didn't want to do it until I resolved some things today with Mario. So we've agreed to terms on the bakery. They're very excited. We're getting close to agreeing to terms with another local business that would be very important to us to keep in our town. It's out there now, everybody really knows about it. We're also in deep negotiation right now with Cook's Dairy to bring a full dairy store. If you've been to their dairy store over in Ortonville. And that is in with complete transparency to those on our board and others that have dairy-related shops in our town. So everybody's really working through those. So we're at a very exciting time period. We have all of the foundational drawings complete with the buildings that you authorized for us to do that work with DC Structures. And PEA is aggressively working on our site plan. From a planning purpose, we would logically go very next back to the Planning Commission to ask for PUD eligibility. We haven't done that, and so we won't make October. It's not going to delay the whole project. It's going to delay that step another month unless we ask for a special meeting. The reason for that is we've got to do some work with our good partners at the Village to get stronger access to preemptive review from the engineering firm. So we need to set up an escrow account. We need to do some things that really is appropriate for them to make sure that we're not taking advantage of cost or structure. So we need to have those conversations today. Mario has facilitated the conversation. I need to follow up with my good colleague, Mr. McClary, to say, how can we do this so if we have preemptory questions to the engineering firm, that the cost for that would be absorbed by the DDA and there wouldn't be any burden on the Village. And so we need to do that. We'll get that work done. PEA is designing, if we have to do full stormwater retention on site, we can fit it. The only thing right now that would change on that concept plan that you saw is the little corner in the northeast corner where we always said maybe that playground could go. It may become a big rain garden with natural, beautiful Michigan flowers, and it might become very beautiful, but it might not be a playground. It might be stormwater retention. Here's the last thing. The only little nuance that I'm trying to work behind the scenes a little bit on is the MDOT situation with the percolation basin. Mm-hmm. PEA once again has pointed out a couple things that I didn't see right away. So one of them is that the easement for the sanitary sewer that runs through our site that we've been looking at, that big line, that's not actually where the sanitary sewer was installed. It was installed about 29 feet to the west. So it's not in the easement. So that impacts where we can put the bicycle shop. So I know, and answer your question in a second because you'll have them. There's some legal aspects of that that are not problematic, but they're corrective. So we'll have to come to council, Madam President, and likely correct the easement description to where the sanitary actually is, because we're certainly not going to go ask them to move it, which is a kind of not a smart thing to even ask. But we do have to correct some of the legal stuff there, so we'll have to work with the village to do that. The only reason we have to do that is because where it sits right now is exactly where the bike shop was going to go. So we believe there's enough room to shift it to the east. It would be closer to the trailhead. Still move the restrooms up near that old supply barn, so it'll still be this cool trailhead with the bike shop that has stuff pouring out to the trailhead and bathrooms, but the back of it is likely going to be all retention basin and bioswale in the back of that. And then we would keep where that sanitary is more just as open space. So for all those reasons of why we're here, also for all those reasons of you know, people saying, you should have had a plan, you should have had a plan, you should have had a plan. If we would have done a full plan at like 70,000, then today I would be announcing to you that we have to redo the entire plan because of a misrecorded sanitary sewer easement that runs through our site that nobody knew about until we actually did borings to find it. And we would be repaying $70,000. So for those that doubt how I'm doing this, just be patient. We're saving the money. We're doing this one time going forward. So that's the report tonight. Any questions you might have or concerns or thoughts?
So, Mr. Gibb, where exactly is the sanitary sewer?
So if you're familiar with the, if you're on Atwater Street and you're looking at the blacktop path that's outside the fence, the sanitary sewer runs right underneath that path. And the easement, and that's fine, it goes underneath that path. The path doesn't ever really need to be moved. And then the easement goes through the site and then angles on about a 15-degree towards the MDOT. And then there's a gate there in the back of that fence. That's where we thought, because there's a manhole that's fairly close to that. At least I thought it was fairly close to it. It actually shifts as it gets to the fence down that long path, and then it goes more on a 40-degree angle across the property. So as it gets back towards the back of the fence is where there's this big deviation. It's not threatening to anything. It's just we just have to reassess. So we'll build around it instead of next to it, and it'll be fine. It'll be fine. But it is a new thing we have to deal with.
Okay. And then the bike owners, are they okay with?
Well, here they're so excited that Tim Marriott tomorrow is going to donate all of his equipment and his time, and he's welding shelves into our new storage containers at the lumber yard at Paint Creek. Through his firm, we were able to acquire 2 watertight shipping containers so that we could get the Christmas stuff out of Miss Medina's garage finally. And Tim is so excited. He's one of the partners there that he's like, we're building you shelves, so we can't be, well, when can we do this? Can we, so they, trust me, they're
They're
super
good.
excited. Yeah, they're very
Okay.
excited.
Thank you.
So if there's no questions, lumberyard's great. It would be to receive and file the report.
If you guys haven't seen it yet, Matt Gibbs and Matt Pfeiffer
Yeah.
had a little video they produced, DD Laker Lumberyard Part 2 on YouTube. It kind of goes through all the stuff. He kind of talked, it's a whole hour long. I kind of fast forward through some areas and went through the text I want to go through. But it's a really good presentation that kind of shows this stuff kind of in a video format, if you're more of a video person than a picture person. That was a really well done, fun, entertaining Matt show thing
Yeah,
on
it's
YouTube.
good. Thanks,
DDA Laker, I think, if you just Google search DDA Laker Lumberyard Part 2, it pulls up on YouTube.
It's on our website too.
Oh, even better, go to the website.
You can also watch it at 2 times speed.
Oh, you can, oh, good.
You get to hear me talk too much, but at twice the speed.
Twice the speed. You talk like me.
Motion to receive and file.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Moving on to 9B, Executive Director Report.
Madam Chair, most of the report, I'd just like to highlight some of the things. I think the board is pretty aware of what we do on a day-to-day basis. I would say this, the exciting thing for this week is we need your help. We've secured the corn stalks and pumpkins and some of the other attributes of redecorating downtown. Tomorrow we'll be working on some of the flowers and plantings of what we're doing. And so that arrives Thursday morning, early Thursday morning. We have a kids' movie night. I don't take your report, but we have a kids' movie night on Friday. She can talk about that. It would be great to have the town transformed by movie night, because we'll get a lot of families that come downtown on Friday night. So we'll be transforming things. A couple of things, I'm very grateful to Sonia. She's been helping with some of the insurance claim work and some of the other things. And the chief, we did have someone drive through a bunch of stuff on the south end of town, including the Legion Triangle and destroy signs and all that kind of stuff. So it took out another light pole. We'll be replacing that light pole again. We've been able to this time get the vendor that has those poles, an easier way to get them, that the village has long used, to give us a total all-in cost. I don't know if you remember last time, we did it, we processed a claim, and then, oh, we forgot to charge you the delivery, we forgot to charge you this. So the DDA ended up paying a little bit more than we should have. So this time we're hopeful that the insurance company will process a more all-in quote, less our $500 deductible. So we would, because there's not, on one replacing for sure, there's not even a police report. We don't even know how it happened. But hopefully they'll approve our claim. The one that happened over the weekend is definitely an insurance claim, and they'll seek some recovery for it. So that's what's going on. The rest of my report's in the file.
Motion to receive and file.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Could I just ask a question? You had mentioned, do we have a map indicating the desired locations for the corn stalks and the pumpkins? So when we have volunteers come, is there a map? Everybody can take a map and everybody can take an assignment to what street or what corner that they're going to?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay,
We will by tomorrow. How about that? Yeah.
okay,
Yeah. We had one last year. We bought more stuff this year because we got greater discounts. And for those that think that, oh, why can't you get corn stalks donated? Yeah, good luck to that.
Yeah.
You can get a few, like someone will say, hey, I can give you a few bundles, but we ordered like 120 bundles. So we've over-ordered, and Harvest Time ended up being the greatest partner to us this year. We went out to visit Van Hootie Farms and some others, and right up the road, Joe was like, no, why didn't you come see me first? I'm like, great. So they're going to deliver everything. So we'll have it more robust. Last year we limited it because we just didn't have as much stuff last year, but we'll make sure it's complete.
okay. Thank you. Moving on to 9C, Assistant Director's Report.
Yes, get this set. So just covering a few items that we have wrapped up on. Dragon on Lake, Lake Orion Live, LO Live, apologize. Outdoor movie night, date night, which we had talked about, again, utilizing that temporary pocket park that we're going to be working on getting that set. And it was a great night, and we had a lot of compliments from folks stopping in the office, reaching out to us, those that were walking by, et cetera, that they loved the use of the space, and they loved seeing programming in there, and that particular type of programming too. So again, we'll have more information coming up. Certainly want to say a thank you to Amazing Pedals, Lake Orion Bike and Adventure, 20 Front Street, Weaving Coffee, that donated prizes for our date night prizes at night. We had recently sent out on September 8th an event participation survey to our businesses, so just directing them to check their spam, look at their email. It's asking about America in Bloom, Michigan Downtown Day, Halloween Extravaganza, and Witches Night, so we can find out their participation. And so, again, we'd love to make sure that we don't miss anyone for that. Some of the events that we do have coming up, we have, as we talked about this Friday, will be Inside Out for the Kids Movie Night in Children's Park, 6 to 9:30. Zombie Walk is coming up this Saturday, 6 p.m. for makeup, 8 p.m. the walk starts. Head over to Ed's for that. Michigan Downtown Day, and that is shop local, shop hours, and that is to support our downtown businesses. We'll be having sidewalk sales that happen with a lot of the businesses. So again, we want to show them love, have the registers ring, and just come down, and even if it's just saying thank you for being a part of downtown Lake Orion. We move into October with the Here Lies Lake Orion Cemetery Tour, October 4th through the 5th. Tickets are available. You can check our socials for that. We're partnered with Orion Historical Society with that particular activity in Evergreen Cemetery. Halloween extravaganza and the costume parade. So glad that we brought the parade back last year. We had over 200 participants with the parade, which was fantastic. Over 40 businesses last year that passed out candy for the trick-or-treating. And again, we'll have cider and donuts in Children's Park. So again, that's 5 to 8. The parade's at 6. Witches Night via trolley that we partner up with Oxford, and that's going to be 5 to 10 p.m. on October 24th. And as we always say, it's just a great night out, great activities happening, spooky fun in downtown. So a few project status. Let me state this as well as we're talking about events. America in Bloom, which a lot of folks should have heard about this at this point. National conference coming in, about 150 to 200 folks coming in, and that is going to be on Friday, September 26th. They're going to come into our downtown between 5 and 10 p.m. on that Friday. And what we're asking for businesses, just make sure your storefronts look great. We encourage you to put out flowers and decor that will kind of match that theme with America in Bloom. We want to put our best foot forward. And we're also looking for 8 people to volunteer because the buses will be coming into the lumberyard location. And we need 8 people to volunteer to take like a 15-minute tour with those folks, and getting them over to, they're going to have a little soiree over at the fire department before they get released into our beautiful downtown. So reach out to our office and we'll give you the map and a script and you'll be all set. And again, just welcoming these people from across the country to our downtown. Again, project status, kiosk signs were installed the beginning of September. Again, 2 at Broadway and Flint and the other one at Front Street in Anderson. So thank you for Right Hook for making that happen. We have the social media stats here. Excited that we're close to 11,000 folks on our Facebook page. And the other numbers have been increasing as well. We've been working on getting into a good cadence with our e-newsletters, with our Snap Retail. We had 11 e-newsletters created that went out to both business and consumers. If anybody who's watching is not receiving that, again, they can reach out to our office. We'd love to add them. We always have that at our DDA booths at different events to sign up for that. Wanted to state that we had Genesis Credit Union grant, the Spirit of Main Street, that 4 businesses did apply for that grant, so more information coming. As far as the committees, we will be working on with the chairs on that. Again, we know that we need to work on strengthening the process with the agendas and minutes and the amount of volunteers and folks that can help support that. So more details will be coming for that. Also, information will be going out for our Downtown Lowdown, which is happening Monday, September 22nd, 4 to 5:30. It's going to be at Sick Town Hall. I did have TBD in the packet here. So that's going to be at the rooftop area. We'll try to avoid the bees, and that will be at Sick Town Hall. And again, we always hold those the 4th Monday of the month, and we always encourage our business owners or representative from their business to come join us, ask questions, tell us their successes, their challenges. So it's always just a really great peer-to-peer meeting to get everybody together. We are also, we had a great response to the Illuminators program that we did at Dragon on the Lake. We had about 50 to 60 folks that signed up for that. We're actually meeting this Thursday with the organization committee to talk about our next steps and looking at how we can best engage them and keep that energy alive that we have for that. So included in the packet was just an example of one of the emails that we send out. And I also included the upcoming calendar, right? So if you want to look at what's coming up for winter, you can also plan for that. And I'll accept any questions or comments. Yes.
What time is trick or treating? You said the whole event goes from.
Yes, so that event for trick or treating, it's 5 to 8. And we do the parade at 6 o'clock, which will step off here from the Village Hall. That will go down Anderson again, and then they'll make their way through the parking lot by Children's Park and enter out over the bridge.
Okay, so the streets
Yep.
won't be blocked, right?
No,
Okay.
no, other than Anderson, just during the parade.
Okay.
Yep,
Motion to receive and file.
thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Madam Chair, can I take something just out of order and make a point of order? Two things. One is I forgot to say that we are walking Christmas light people through town this week. And I sent a text out with, what do you think if we did ridge lights? This is my chat GPT there, Mr. Shell. I love chat. So if you're interested in all of that, I know, Mr. Coe, you are, Lloyd is. If you are, we're going to be doing that. And then on Thursday, the illuminators, this is a hint for particularly our new colleagues on the council. This is not a closed thing. The illuminators is to create an openness of shining all the good things that this community does. So we'll be talking about next steps and decompressing over a cold drink of people's choice at the Irish Tavern at 5:30 on Thursday. If any of you can make it, we'd love to have you. If any other members of the community would love to come, and we'll be sending that out to that sign-up list of the 60 people. So I'm hoping we get 20 or 25 people there on Thursday, even though I said I was buying. So Thursday night, 5:30 for the illuminators at the Irish Tavern.
Awesome, awesome. Could I ask a question, Janet? So are we going to have restaurants that are going to be providing specials for our guests coming in town for American in Bloom?
Yes, so restaurants and also shops as well. So we are collecting that information. That's part of that information that we had emailed out. But again, we are signing everybody up so we can add that to the information that goes out to the attendees on site.
So you had mentioned there's going to be approximately 150 to 200 guests coming
Yes.
into our town, and you said they were going to receive some kind of a bag.
So they'll have a swag bag that they receive, and
So what's in the swag bag?
Our portion of that is to include anything that our merchants want to add.
Okay.
Anything above and beyond that is from American Bloom or Orion Township.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who are the people? Are they just like, who's coming to visit?
So if you think about it, it's just folks that really are in the business of beautification across the U.S., whether that is, whether they are vendors in that space, or if they're like us as far as DDA members that are looking to manage downtowns or different aspects of that, right? Right. Yeah.
I thought you were calling us beautiful for a minute.
Do we have a list of
Apparently
where
she
they're
meant
from?
something else.
Janet, do we have a list of where they're from?
You know what? I can see if we can get that. Yeah. I don't know if they have it posted yet, or if we can get that from the township, I'm sure.
Maybe.
Maybe, okay.
Okay. Wonderful. Somebody wants to receive and file.
I think we're.
We did that? Okay. Moving on to item number 10, board comments and training feedback. Ms. Kelly.
I'd like to thank the DDA for all the help that they did with Dragon on the Lake. We appreciate it. We had another good event this year. The weather was perfect for us, and we'll grow it again next year. The other thing, I think we're doing a really good job, the staff, on making sure that we're communicating well on the lumberyard. People may not believe that, but there's so much communication, it's unbelievable. And as Sam was saying, if you're watching part 2 with Matt and lumberyard, it's hysterical.
I've had a few things pop to mind to say. I'm going to forget half of them. But first of all, Matt and Janet, thank you for all your hard work. Definitely keep moving forward on the lumberyard. You're doing great there. I know that there's a very vocal minority that are a problem to the extent of even inappropriate comments at a public meeting recently, but good job just plowing through that. Everyone that I've talked to is very excited about it, so thank you. Excited for the new businesses, and yes, Scott's doing a great job with Sick Town Hall. A little bit begrudgingly excited to lose Danny and Jason and Jen especially, but also Anita's. But thanks to the people at Osota for really being model business owners downtown as far as I'm concerned. Short of anybody on this board that's a business owner, they're probably the next best after that. So I think those are the big things I had.
Yeah, I agree with Matt and Janet doing a great job this past year. We're looking forward as a board to have more of our input with you guys as goal setting and things. We can be on the same thing. We talked about doing quarterly meetings to make sure we're making certain milestones will make it better for us and for you. And we're looking forward to this year being even a bigger, better year. The Lake Green your projects come along fine and dandy, and I haven't walked through it yet. I got to walk through it, Dan. I see videos, but I got to walk through it. So I'll have to have a day when you're available, just to maybe lend an ear and stop by or see how they walk out there. But I see it from a distance, but I see it on video, but I want to see it in person. It's a different feel. But yeah, we've had a great summer with all the events we've had this past summer. Lots of events going on. Looking forward to the fall events and the holiday events coming ready. Looking forward, hopefully, getting some Christmas lights downtown and maybe even more than just Christmas lights. Lighting, maybe we're looking at maybe doing lighting for a bigger season throughout the spring, so we can change the lighting. It'd be kind of a cool adventure to have our downtown lit up for more than just the holiday season, but throughout the whole winter and spring possibly. So that's cool. We're looking forward to that. With that said, I'm glad to be part of this board. We got a great team here. We're all working together on the same page, and grateful for all the hard work and efforts from the board as well as our directors.
Yeah, also just, excited about all the different things happening in downtown. My kids have already asked if they can pass out donuts for the Halloween extravaganza, so
Tell them
you
yes.
can just put them down for that. They loved it last year, and they're like, we get to go do that again, right? So just mark us down. And on a side note, we're hosting, my family is hosting an exchange student, and one of the comments he made is, we were walking through town, it was, I think, one of the last cornhole nights, and just talking about all the different things we have downtown. On this day, on Wednesdays we have this, and on Thursdays we have this, and he was like, wow, we don't have anything like that back home. And just, it's a really cool place that people get to come down, get to, when we look at this events calendar, it's just something it's something unique, something special, and something that brings people in and keeps people here. Just very excited to be a part of that. Also, I will be out of town the next 2.5 days. I'm going to the Michigan Municipal League annual convention, and one of the workshops that I'm looking forward to is supporting a strong local economy, why small business is critical to thriving communities, and how local municipalities can help support that. So I've been looking at the different breakout sessions, and that one caught my eye as how we in the village administration can continue to support our small businesses and our downtown, because it is critical to the thriving of our community. So looking forward to that as well.
Yeah, I have a couple of things. One is cornhole night is finally over Thursday night, but I've had so many people ask me if we could do something in the wintertime, and I said, well, not now, but maybe we can work something out where the pavilion at the lumberyard is, so anyways, it would be nice to be able to do something like that whenever that gets done. It would give us another, opportunity to do something, and more importantly, for the businesses, it would keep a lot of people playing down here versus going to, other places. So anyways, but it was a great season for us, and we really appreciate all the support we got from a lot of the local businesses. And the DDA, it was really great. Secondly, our zombie walk this is our 12th annual zombie walk, Saturday night. Anybody that wants to participate, we'd be more than happy to take your money. It's a donation to the Christmas Parade group, is what it amounts to. Everything that's raised goes to the Christmas Parade. Hank has done it, I think, every year. And
No, not every year, but I've been in it the last
close
4
to
or
it.
5.
Yeah, okay. So anyways,
They keep pulling out the same picture to put in the paper. Oh, look, I'm in here again.
we'd appreciate any support we can give for that. And then finally, I just have a question about the corner of Anderson and Flint Street, it's probably more of a village question, but since Darwin's here, I'm going to throw it out there. When is something going to happen there? And if nothing's going to happen, why can't we use it for parking again? I've noticed the cars have been parking there anyways, and it just, I get asked probably twice a week what's going on there.
Something is going to happen there, although they've requested an extension of the approval for the site plan. They asked for a 12-month extension, and that was approved by the Planning Commission. But as of right now, the plans still are going ahead with the development of that property.
Well, can we use it for parking?
It's private property. You would need to talk to them about that. So
We can talk to Jeff.
Okay. That's it, thanks.
Janet, order more donuts. I have a feeling we're going to need them. I'd just like to say to our village manager, I hope you had a marvelous vacation and welcome back. Good to have you join us tonight.
thank you, Madam Chair.
Yes. And I'm super excited about all of the events that are coming up. I mean, this is like, we've got our kids' movie night, and then we have our Halloween extravaganza, and then we're gonna have our sing and stroll, right? So we've got a lot of wonderful family-oriented events coming up. So mark your calendars, everybody, because it's gonna be a lot of fun. I wanna thank the board for always showing up and pitching in whenever they ask for help, so thank you again so much for that. Janet and Matt, we appreciate you. I'll tell you what, our community, and this is not just another, good old boy, like pat on the back. No, we've seen a lot of progress. We have really seen a lot of progress. And so I just want to thank you publicly, because I believe if it weren't for the both of you in your leadership and commitment to our community, we would not be where we currently are right now. And so Matt, all of your contacts and all of the folks who you've been able to reach out to, we greatly appreciate the effort and the time that you've put into that, because that's the reason we are where we are in the lumberyard right now. Because financially, we wouldn't be there if it wasn't for that. So we're grateful for that. And thank you for our guests tonight. We appreciate you always coming and supporting us. So at this time, we need a motion for an adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, everyone.